Hey everybody, welcome to another Sunday night admin point of view show. Tonight I actually have two guests with me to bat my ideas off of. We have Mr. Michael Stone, who actually has a Sunday night off, and Dustin Saunders, who is one of our regular viewers in almost all of our live shows. So before we start, Dustin, why don't you let people know about yourself and stuff like that?
Well, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I am an ex-storage unit buyer, slowly transitioning to Amazon and eBay. Stay-at-home father with one on the way. So I'm just watch a lot of your shows and other guys and Michael's show and try to pick up some good info from everybody else. Live and learn as I go along.
And he asked people he admits he had a crappy $1 yard sale camera. So he will be getting a better one for the future.
Yes, it is a crappy camera. Sorry, guys. I am ordering mine tomorrow off eBay. Chris found me a pretty good camera for a good deal, so I'll be up and running by the end of the week.
And Mike, for the people that don't know who you are,
I basically I have my own YouTube channel. Sure, you can find that pretty easily. Just type in eBay Goodwill. I'm like one of the top videos there. I buy from Goodwill, sell on eBay, Amazon, and I currently deliver pizza part-time until the end of this month, and then I will be exclusively full-time.
and I wanted to let everybody know that I found out today that Chris Nice, who was another one of our regular viewers, was in the hospital today.
Uh-oh.
They found out he's having gallbladder problems. So when you watch this, Chris, hope you get better soon and get back into the hangouts and everything else to talk with us and learn. And with that being said, well, I'll do a couple shout outs for who we got in here. We got Coco, we have Dawn, we got Steven Scroggins, Kyle, who I made and the moderator for today. We have Black Eye Joe, Joe Panico, Phoenix Kicker Janet, and Pop Water Picker, Dusty, Alabama Dusty. So I do have 5 topics that I'm going to be bouncing off these guys to see what everybody has to say about them. As I said, they're all based on posting the groups. So if it's your post, be proud of it, or well, depending on how we treat you, maybe you won't want to be so proud of it. But I'm trying to find good ones that people can learn from or positive posts instead of all the negative ones. And my first one was a situational awareness post, where you gotta keep your eyes out, your ears out, and your head on a swivel, as Redneck Picker used to say, so you can find things and you might learn something from somebody else. For example, if you're like the post was about a guy went to an estate sale, he was gonna buy some art, and then he was gonna make a deal on the clothes that were in the closet, and the girl said she was going to donate it, so instead of paying the estate seller that was originally doing the deal, what he wanted, he said, I'll give you $350 for it. So instead of the guy wanted $1,800. So that's a big difference just from the girl telling him, well, whatever doesn't sell is going in or donating anyway. So it saves him money by knowing that ahead of time. So what are your thoughts on that, Michael?
I always wonder what they do with all of those items that don't sell by the end of the estate sale. That I've always just been curious, because I know sometimes they'll donate them, but sometimes do they just contact the family, say, hey, this is what didn't sell, do you want us to ship it to you, or give it away, donate it? I'm pretty sure that they have some sort of setup.
well, from when the post said originally, it was the person he talked to was the girl's daughter or something from the estate that passed away or something, and they were actually packing up. So I think she would outright whoever was running the sale on what they wanted done with it. So, and what are your thoughts, Dustin?
I've actually hosted a couple of estate sales. A lot of time at that point, once the attorney is involved, they normally have a plan of whatever doesn't sell either gets donated, thrown away, or something of that sort. So typically, the family's supposed to pick through the stuff before the sale starts. Once the sale starts, everything's for sale, and at that point, at the end of the sale, if it doesn't get taken care of, it typically gets thrown away or donated for most of my experiences.
Let's see. See if there's any more any comment. Yeah, Japanese because they usually go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, and such around here. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times the attorneys will recommend donating stuff because it gets written off against the estate price points. So because you donate to Goodwill, you pretty much can claim 3,000 jeans at $5 a piece. It's a good little write-off for the estate.
Well, it's a good thing that he actually talked to the girl. Anyway, she actually, instead of having to pay $1,800, you saved $1,500 worth of for the clothes. Along with the guy having to pick up, I helped him pack it up and put it in his truck.
My experience with clothes at the estate sales is actually waiting until the end of the estate sale because not a lot of people go picking for clothes at estate sales, at least in my area. So those closets are always full. It's Sunday, 2, 3 o'clock. Hey, I'll give you $20 a closet. And most of the time, you'll get $20 a closet full. That's my experience.
Hi there, buddy. My wife's in the comments saying hi to everybody. So what? Let's see. Any other thoughts on this subject? Let's see. We'll keep an eye out for them. And if you have any questions for us, don't be hesitant to ask.
That's why we're here.
Well, and my second topic that caught my eye was somebody's reaction to the very first negative feedback. And the feedback was because they didn't accept returns after 40+ days.
Call eBay.
The person said they called and they still wouldn't take it back.
I just got my very first negative, and the reason I got the negative was because he tried to say that it was a canceled item and he wanted his money back right away. Like, I didn't get any notification that he wanted it canceled. I shipped it within the time frame. I shipped it within 24 hours. He was international, so he got the item within a week, which was actually pretty fast being international. And he left a feedback immediately stating that this was canceled. I want my money back right now. But then right after that, he sent me a message. I want my money back. This item was cannilled. And I'm like, what is cannilled? And I get home and I see, because I responded on my phone, I get home, I see he left me a negative on my account. I was just done messaging him. I just straight up called eBay. They said, you're right. Don't know why he didn't try to say, can you figure out how to cancel this item afterwards? And it's like, I would have given him his money back from what I got out of it. But being international, I have no idea what he paid for the international shipping. But I just straight up called eBay and they said, give us a little bit of time and we'll get that negative removed. Like, out of all the years I've been selling on eBay, I just got my first negative. And they were like, yeah, we see as of right now you have this many points of feedback, and out of all of these feedback, you've never had a negative, and out of the entire time that you've been selling on eBay, you've had 2 neutrals. And that was like over a year ago. That was actually a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we've had only 1 negative when that was one time I decided I was going to take a break and I wasn't going to sell on eBay for whatever reason. And we waited. That's when I started trying Bonanza for a year first. And I came back to eBay and my negative was gone, so I'm back to 100%.
How is Bonanza? I know there's people saying that it's okay. I've also
Well,
had
for us, it's crappy.
it's not.
Well, I don't list as much as I should anywhere because of what's going our personal wife having her pains and everything else. So,
Yeah.
but the fact that I have almost 100 items on Bonanza and I have 90 something on eBay, and I haven't sold anything on Bonanza in over a year.
Wow.
So I'm basically holding those for storage. If they sell, they sell.
Yeah.
Dustin, what are your thoughts on how to react to your first negative on eBay?
Well, I just like we talked pre-show. I just started up my eBay and got some sales going and so forth. I've had negatives on Amazon before, and Amazon's return policy is 45 days, and after that, it doesn't make a difference. They can do negative and all that. Amazon will take it away regardless. So I'm not real familiar 100% with eBay. All I would say is try to take care of the customer. Just, if you can refund it and they're not really trying to scam you, go ahead, refund it, and just bite it and call eBay up and let them settle it for you. That's what their job is.
Any thoughts on the subject out in the comments? I don't see any yes. Everybody's still saying hi to Donna. And Poplar says it's okay, just slow selling. So she's talking about Bonanza. Yes, Kyle, I'm taking questions tonight. Didn't you just hear a little while ago? I said if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Mike said that's why we're here.
Same thing with my channel. If you have any questions about anything that I show on my YouTube videos, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Feel free to ask any questions. I usually get back with you usually within a day. Sometimes it takes 2. But I'll get back to you.
So, well, let's see. Poplar says she sells about probably 1 or 2 items a month on Bonanza. So.
Lucky.
And Robert Smith says one negative is good because you no longer get the bullying or extortion to get good feedback. Well, considering in February, that feedback's going to be basically null and void, in my opinion. You're only going to be able to get negative for. That's another one of my topics that's going to be tonight. You're only going to be able to get negative for item not as described type of thing. You're not going to be doing it under shipping and all the things that we get negative now. Did you know about that, Mike?
I've had somebody leave me positive feedback, but their comment was rather negative, and it was so bad. It didn't even count as a defect, but it bothered me so much that I called eBay and they removed it. And they actually looked at his account, and that was the feedback he was leaving for everybody, and they deleted his account. He said, "This laptop doesn't work. I want my money back." Negative feedback, but it was a positive comment, or it was a positive feedback. He was leaving that for everybody. It's like, I didn't sell this guy a laptop. I sold him this Palm Pilot for parts or repair, and I even lost money on shipping. Like, I basically just wanted that thing gone. I didn't care what it went for. And they said, yeah, we'll get it removed, and it was gone that day.
We have a question here from Joe Panico. He says, anyone notice that the eBay shipping discounts usually equal similar amounts to their final value fees on shipping? I haven't noticed, but that.
I haven't noticed.
They usually, fees are only supposed to take 10% of your shipping price. So if you're doing it for $2.50, I think they're supposed to only take 25 cents or something like that for the fee. Which I haven't seen it with the discounts. Okay, Dawn has a question for you, Michael. How many items do you have listed, and are you worried it's not enough to keep you going when you're not working as a driver anymore?
I have 3 eBay accounts. Between all 3 of those, I have somewhere around 400 items. In FBA, I currently have about, as of right now, I think I have about 400. I'm waiting on another shipment to get to Amazon. That'll bring it to about 500. Honestly, I don't think any of it's enough. I would love to do more. Like I was telling Chris earlier, that I was pulling apart a, what was this thing?
George,
A baby George Foreman rotisserie. And I was curious, didn't I have one of those already? And I just went back through my store and I found all those parts, and I just straight up relisted every single part using the same pictures that I had from before. So I literally just listed like 10 items in 20 minutes. And that was because it took me a minute to find them all and tear the whole thing apart.
now, are the pictures put in the same, the items that you have that you're relisting as with those pictures, are they in the same condition?
Yep. Actually, better condition, because I don't think this one was used.
So you don't have to worry about somebody saying the picture doesn't do the item.
Yeah.
Like there's no things or anything you got to worry about.
Yeah, I actually think that this was brand new because it was way better condition, and the one that I had was in definitely used and a little bit worse condition, so they'll get the item and be like, hey, this was better than what I thought it was going to be. And I almost forgot that off of that unit, I sold that little knob on the side first, and I sold that knob for like $13.
Okay, well, before I get to Kyle's question for you, Michael, Joe went on to say his most recent shipping fee was just over $2, and his discount was almost the same on his most recent sale, which was a computer case with power supply that sold for $74, with shipping being $19.01. So I don't know. That's $2. That's less than 10% of the shipping, though. Well, no, it's not. You got to figure 10% of $19 is not $190. So I don't know. I can't help you with that one, Joe. And Kyle asked you, Michael, what type of items do you specialize in?
Kitchen appliance parts and VCRs. It still confuses me to hell that people are buying VCRs, but VCRs are one of my top sellers. Especially if you're sending them in FBA. Like I was telling Chris and Dustin a little bit ago, I just sold a VCR FBA for $70.
Okay. Alvin Smith wants to know, this is a good question for you. Sorry, Dustin, there's seem to asking questions for Michael here, but
Hey, he's got a channel. He's got a really good channel. He's got some good episodes. They should be asking questions.
I was curious. I went back and I looked, and it's like, I've got 1,300 subscribers. People are actually watching my videos.
well, Alvin wants to know, how do you keep up with hundreds of items? What is your system?
It's actually kind of chaotic. When I have a house, hopefully it'll be less chaotic, but when you're doing it, when eBay is your main source of income, you remember where everything is at. And if you don't, you can usually find it pretty quickly.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
So, I got a question about that. As far as when, like, I'm looking at your stuff behind you. Obviously, you can physically see it. So, what about the stuff that's in a plastic tub underneath a desk somewhere? Are you labeling stuff when you post it? Do you know what part of the you mean? What's your process if you have 400 items right behind you? how do you find it quickly, or and so forth?
Basically, things like the drawers, plastic drawers, like right over there. I've got bigger ones upstairs in my bedroom, and I usually keep my kitchen appliance parts in those. It's like
So
my
you,
clothing. You can see where I keep my clothing.
right. So you do have some like separate areas for like maybe electronics or parts or clothes, or you do get
Electronics
some
are
kind of
actually in a giant stack next to my bed.
working off the square footage, step around it or jump over it.
Yeah.
And
I missed the giant stack of. It used to be like maybe that many electronics stacked next to my bed. As of right now, it's about like that. It's like I've been working way too many hours at work, which is one of the reasons I'm quitting.
well, that answers one of the questions that we had for you was from uh, Coco. Wanted to know, do you work from home, Michael?
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to read off another comment from Gigi, Gigi's Attic Treasures. They've been selling on eBay for 15 years using their gut feeling and experience to buy. They just got a smartphone thinking it would be helpful, but they are so lost as to what apps to get and how to use them. Well, I can make a suggestion of definitely getting the eBay app and the PayPal app. That way you'll get notification if you get paid, and when you make a sale, and you can even list from the app if you're so inclined and figure out how to do it right.
Yeah, personally, I don't like to sell from the eBay app.
Well, I know there's certain people that like to do it, so that's why I said, if you figure out how to do it right, and like I know Cindy Sorrelly does it all the time. That's what she mostly lists on is her mobile phone.
I would say for them going to that transition is learn how to use a smartphone in general, because it sounds like that's the first experience with it. And then add the app, but still use your computer or how you've been doing business, and just slowly work into it. And don't try to make the big jump. Just learn how to use it and be comfortable with it. Take it with you once to a estate sale maybe, and maybe you try to look up on eBay and you don't know how to look for sold listings on the mobile app versus your computer. It's so much easier. Just slowly get into it. You'll eventually get used to it.
Righteous Reseller, aka Big Kyle, I think you like to call him apparently in the chat, says, Michael, have you ever thought about getting a bigger area, like a warehouse?
When our lease is up here in a few months, we plan on moving to a bigger place. We're basically at the point we need a house. I'm hoping that we can get one. I need definitely a bigger house. I've thought about a warehouse, but I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for a warehouse yet. Because then I would literally basically be living in that warehouse because I'm a workaholic. There's a lot of nights that I will be sitting at this desk till 3 a.m.
Yeah, a couple of times Mike P on me said, you busy? No, why? Can you keep me awake? Just so we can get something listed.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was definitely, it's like I was like that close to finishing. I just need to keep going. I'm like another half hour away at least.
Yep, and then I'm sitting there talking and you're starting to watch it. Get back to work!
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi to Black Eye Joe. I know I seen him in post and talked to him in the after shows before. Just saying hi, buddy.
Alright. Hotware says, well, after you get over 500 items, hard to remember where everything is. So you're talking about doing number system and stuff like that.
No, it's just you remember.
And Coco said, how about a detached garage or building?
I would actually prefer an attached garage because I would also be afraid of theft. and it would be just in case somebody is watching my house constantly that I would hear them breaking into a garage easier than a detached garage.
What about like a storage unit?
You'd have to get up and go out to a storage unit constantly. Because I don't know how many people like to do it, but when an item sells, I like to pack it right away. I don't like to have to go all the way out to grab it at other location, then pack the item right then and there.
I don't see any more questions. One of my other topics we kind of hit the defense one was my other problem. My other question thing is the UPS rates are going to be going up January 17th. So don't forget, people, raise your rates.
I do calculated.
Well, for the people that do flat rate, or make sure you raise it up their amount so you don't lose out on profit in or shipping fees.
Chris, you know the percentage of that difference from now to then?
I've heard different stories. It's either 10 or 20 something %. But it's only certain certain ones are going up. I can't remember exactly.
So if it was going to cost $12 to ship something, it costs you another $2.40.
I very rarely do flat rate. I don't usually have anything heavy enough to put into a flat rate item or a flat rate box that would warrant putting it in one of those boxes. Usually, if you put it in a box, you can mail it priority mail cheaper than flat rate.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't quite realize that one.
Flat rate large box is what, $22, $23 right now?
Okay, I'm looking at it right now on the USPS site, or it's on
That box is not very cheap.
stamps.com, but the weight of 0.5 ounces or 5 pounds is zones 1 and 2 is $7.57. Zone 3 is $3.67. Zone 4 91 cents. Okay, wait a minute, that don't make.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, okay, wait, okay. Priority Mail Express rate is in 2015 is $18.11. 2016 it's going to be $20.66. So it's going to be going up $2.55 for Priority Mail Express.
10%.
And depending on the poundage, the Priority Mail rate, well, actually depends on where you're going too. It's hard to explain all this because flat rate envelope by business commercial-based pricing at 2015 was $5.05 for a flat rate envelope. It's going up to $5.75.
The flat rate envelope is what, like $4.96 right now?
Oh, the legal flat rate is $5.25 right now, and that's going up to $5.75.
And the post office is posting that they're having record profits right now.
But large flat rate at 2015 is $15.80 right now, and then starting January 17th, it's supposed to go to $16.35. So that's an increase of 55 cents. The most small flat rate boxes are going up 85 cents by stamps.com blog. So. Okay, Alvin wants to know if you do all calculated, does it work better than same cost to all buyers? Did you hear that, Mike?
The same cost of 12 items?
No. Alvin's fans want to know, do you do all calculated? Does it work better than the same cost to all buyers?
I wondered what that noise was. It kind of depends on the item, because if it's going to be an item that is going to ship first class, If it's small enough, I'll just put down that it's free shipping, because if the item's small enough, I'll put it up for 204 plus whatever the item is, or I'll put it up for whatever the item is and free shipping, because you know it's not going to cost more than the, let's see, 13 ounces cost $3.63 to ship right now. You already know how much it's going to cost to ship, so just calculate that into the cost of the item. Now, if it's a heavier item, like let's say 2 pounds, just put down calculated for 2 pounds, because 2 pounds shipping to one state over is a lot different than shipping from New York to California, because that can be like, what, $25?
I haven't shipped that in a while since I moved here, so.
I had an item that I accidentally put down at free shipping the other day, and luckily I still got my money back plus profit, but I tried to do calculated shipping, and for some reason it clicked free shipping. It's like, no, I didn't want free shipping. I was trying to do calculated shipping. That's why it sold in 2 hours.
And also, the post office is also raising their first class is going from 13 ounces to actual 16 ounces to make it an actual pound for first class.
Oh, they are doing that. Nice. I'll have to update my list again.
When I've done when I look at eBay, I look at sold and completed, and say an item was $20, and the average sold was $19 plus $5 in shipping. So I start my auction with free shipping at $20. It typically ends up running up the same price point. So I mean, everybody likes to do things differently, but so I just kind of throwing that little bit in.
Yeah, I've done free shipping. I've done first class. I've done all different, depending on the items. So.
I offer the free shipping and then just look back and see if I can save $1 or $2 on my end afterwards. If not, then okay, you know.
I've actually had more sales when I was charging shipping than I did when I was doing free.
Yeah.
So that's why when they say, oh, all these certain people say, do free, do free, do free. I'm like, why? If I'm not getting sales with free, yeah, I'm getting sales with shipping. Then
I used to do a lot of free shipping, and then I actually took advice from Jeff Davidson of, it's costing me money to ship an item to somebody. If you're putting in the cost of what it's costing you, then people are still going to pay it. They'll just have a better idea how much it's actually costing to ship. Like, I felt bad if I had an item that somebody paid as much for the item as they paid for shipping. And I was like, there's no way it was going to cost $45.62 to ship this item to them. And it cost me $45.62 to ship to them, and they paid $50 for the item.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Did he give you a good review or a bad review?
They have not.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, that's good.
Well, I'm just making sure that I have down that they see how much it costs to ship, so that they know that that's exactly how much it costs to ship.
Germany says he doesn't have the guts to try global shipping yet. Not sure if he wants to.
I do.
Joe, I'll suggest, even though everybody says not to do it for the late stuff, I do global on everything. Until you're sure on prices for international on your own, worst that can happen is you. Go ahead, Mike.
I personally won't ship outside of the global shipping program, because if you're shipping here in the U.S., you don't get to track it past the international border. The global shipping program will track it from your door all the way to their door. Because if it's outside the global shipping program, they can get the item and say they never got it and get their money back. If it's in the global shipping program, it shows that they got the item, they can say they never got it, and they can call eBay and say, hey, I never got it. And it's like, yeah, you do. We can see that it got tracked all the way to your front door. that you signed to have it.
Plus, if something happens to it, eBay eats the difference, and not you. You don't have to pay back anything. As long as it gets to England or Kentucky,
It's on them. It's like it will if it gets damaged from Erlanger, Kentucky, to their door, it is on eBay, not on us. That's one of the reasons I will not ship outside the global shipping program to another country. It's like you can say I want you to. It's like too bad I won't.
It's not worth the risk.
The risk is too high.
Joe made a comment. He does not ship outside the U.S., but he thought even with global shipping, they do not track it. They do track it because I've had a couple of patterns that actually went to England, and they went and showed delivered at such and such a door in England. So they literally tracked it all the way to the door.
I tracked an item to Russia. Just because I was really curious. Does it? Because I think that was like one of the first items I had go to the global shipping program, and I was curious, and I watched it go to Erlanger, Kentucky, and then it made a layover in China, and then it went up to Russia.
And Joe, if you're really that nervous about it, you could even do it on certain programs, on certain products that you're not too worried about losing per se, and then just do that as a tester. You don't have to put it on every listing that you have. And he wants to know if there's any countries we don't ship to. Well, I just do global, so I don't, whatever they don't accept, I don't go to.
I had somebody message me wanting me to see how much it would cost to ship to them in Turkey. And I said, I have it set for the global shipping program. It should come up. All you have to do is just select it. And luckily I caught it then. It said that Turkey is not in the global shipping program. And I told them I won't ship outside the global shipping program. I'm sorry, I can't ship it to you. They understood, but they weren't happy about it.
But like you said earlier, you open a can of worms if you want to direct ship stuff. They can say anything, and you got to pay the shipping back from there. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna guess your $2 item just got nailed by $40 shipping back to you.
Yeah.
Coco Snow says she's in the GSP, don't get a lot of sales, and the only problem she's had was taken care of by eBay, almost $400 transaction.
Nice.
So. And Evan says he uses the global shipping program all the time. There are items that the global shipping program will not take.
Yeah, I know there are some, just not a whole lot that I do.
Okay, well, Righteous said, the policy eBay has is when it reaches customs on the other country, then it's considered delivered because they can't control if the country decides to seize the item. And he's had 3 issues, and eBay sided with him each time. So I don't know. I've heard enough people say that the other way around, where they got zapped for the money from people saying they didn't get their items. So
I think it more or less comes down to the item you're shipping. And if you're shipping a T-shirt over there and you do it non-GSP and they complain about it, you just eat it. Who cares? I mean, you're not going to pay $20, $30 to get that T-shirt back regardless. So if they, whatever. It depends on the seller. What risk you want to take for what amount of money on your item.
well,
At your item in value, or do you not care about a T-shirt? Then who cares?
Well, it also kind of depends on the T-shirt. I have sold T-shirts for a pretty penny before.
Well, minus the the big hitters, but the cool $20, $30, $40 T-shirts, not counting the $200 1 in 1,000 T-shirts.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess that you're going to protect that kind of T-shirt a lot more also.
Yeah.
And just like Joe can attest to, and just for anybody that watches when Chad's talking about GSP. Good. If you're doing electronics, do it through the GSP. That way you're covered if anything gets broken when it's shipped.
Which I'm going to guess from listening to Chad's episodes, there's a very good chance of it getting broken because they unpack it for you.
Yep. Most of the time, if they have to, they unpack it to make sure what you're sending is what's been paid for and supposed to be in the box.
Yep. I actually watched the video of the global shipping program. They show you that and stuff. There are a lot of times they will unpack the item just to repack it.
Okay, here's a question for you, Michael. This is more up your alley because Dustin still hasn't is still getting into the eBay game. But and everybody knows, well, most of the viewers would know that I started my store when I hit about 50 items almost 2 years ago. This is my second year with the store. And there was a post asking people how many items you have in it listed before you go up for a store. How many items did you have before you decided to go for either your first store or your third store?
180.
Was there a reason why you waited for that particular number, or was it just that the fees were starting to look the right way for you?
When I realized that I was really getting into it to the point where this is going to be a long-term thing. This isn't something that I'm just having a whim. I'm making a little bit of money. I'm going to do this part-time here, there, make a little bit of extra money. No, this little bit of extra money is turning into a lot of extra money. I'm going to drop hours at my job, and I'm going to take off with this eBay thing. Because I was actually paying to list items, or I was hardcore abusing the system whenever they would come out with 2,000 free listings, and then I would go back through all of my unsolds and then just click relist on everything.
So, Dustin, are you going to wait to get a store, or how are you going to work your little situation?
Well, since I just started up, I realized that when you like right now I'm new, so I only get 10 listings a month. So I ran 10 items, 2 sold. I put 9 on auction, 1 on bite now, so it's sitting on 35 days when it first started, whatever. When those come down, you can relist another item. You don't have to stay on that. So my 10 items, if I started doing, some of the shorter auction, 24 or 3 days, I could have in a week's time 30 items listed. So I'm not really worried about that as much as when I first thought about it being a new person. So now I know that I'm gonna start trying to dabble with a lot more 24 or 3-day sales, and just try to do some quick hits on the media stuff, the everyday item, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So as far as going in the future, I just need to sell out the inventory I've been collecting over the last 3 months. So I got shipments going out to Amazon this week. I got 2 of them boxed up already. eBay, I've got 2 or 3 plastic tubs of stuff that are worth $20 and up. Some of them are good sellers, some are not. Everybody else's stuff. Some of the stuff I realize now is now $10 and under. I found a local auction place that will take them, and he gives me 70%. He takes 30, and whatever, So you go to the States. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to read a comment, so if you want to keep talking, just go ahead and I'll wait till you're done, and I'll read Joe's comment.
Like from when I first started getting online and being third-party Amazon to FBA is sometimes you go to state sales and so forth, or garage sales, you buy box lots. You end up with some stuff you really don't want to send to Amazon, or it's a $2-3 on eBay. At some point, you just gotta let that stuff go, and it's not really worth messing around with. So I found an alternative source locally that I can give him a big plastic tub of stuff, and if he can get me 50 cents or $1, and I get 70% of it, shoot, it's not all my money back, but I didn't buy that box a lot for the $1 item. I bought it for the $20, $40 item. So I'm trying to be a little bit more efficient just in the future by myself, you know. Trying to donate doesn't help me.
Well, Joe Panico said he started his store up and he's starting to list from 0. He currently has 8 listings and plan to list every day if possible. The basic store fee is also a motivator to list. Yeah, it
is. I got a question for Michael on the store thing.
Yeah.
So, at what point are you allowed to ask eBay for a store, or do you have to pay for that right away, or how's that work?
Let's just say when you have enough that you can list to have a store that it would be worth your time. You sign up for the store. There's depending on which store. I got the $15 store. I signed up for the year. You get a better discount if you sign up for a year rather if you do it month to month. I just have the $15 store. I get an extra, I think I get like 200 listings a month, but I get more specials every month. And it's like 20 cents to list every buy it now. It's like I don't do very many auctions anymore. I used to exclusively do auctions. And then I started doing some buy it nows, and I was having sales like popping left and right. It's like, you know what? I'm going to start doing more buy it nows.
Yeah, it's 200 buy it now listings and 100 free auctions you get for the basic store.
Yep.
What's that cost per year?
Well, it's $15.99 or $15.95, something like that per month when they break it down. Otherwise, it's $19.95 a month to month.
So 16 times 12. That's your.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. And before that, Michael, what were you doing?
What was I selling?
No, like what were you doing? Like before you started your store, how'd you work up to that point?
Just get a whole bunch of crap from the dumpster, and I would literally list those items that I'd get out of a dumpster. And those items were literally flying out the door. My highest day was I had 76 items going out in one day.
How'd you go from 10 items a month, like I'm starting at, to maybe a year later? How many items were you mean?
I actually am lucky because when I started, there was no limit. I could list 10,000 items in one night. I could list 10,000 items in one night.
I got you.
Yeah, when I started, didn't have all these seller limits either. They started the seller limits, I think, 08 or 09.
Yeah, I was actually curious, and I started a new account at one point, and I ended up with I started it, and I was able to list 10 items. And I was like, really, that's it? Okay, well, let's just start from the beginning and see where it goes. And I listed 10 items as an auction, and it sold as an auction. Great, next month I got more items to list. Okay, list 20 items. Sold 20 items. Okay, well, till next month, let's list them again. And it was just keep going. I think after the third month, I called eBay to have them raise the limits on that account, and they took me from, what was it, like 50 to 150 on that account, and then it's like, okay, that's definitely enough to keep me going for a while.
So, hey, Chris, is there any new listeners out there or new people? Have you seen that in chat?
Well, we got Owen Wolf just came in. She was asking how my wife is doing. And she's doing, I'll put 50-50. She wishes it was already next week so she can get her surgery, but, well, we gotta wait. Still gotta wait. So. And Joe Panico said, back in 1997, you were lucky to have pictures when he opened his account. But the listings were not limited. And we got NL Rebels World, who just popped in. And Drift Guy just popped in. Let's see if there's anybody else.
Yeah, Nathan was around like way back in the early days. Like I'm sure you probably caught my show, the first episode. He sold pine needle, just a pine needle, for $80. That was back when you could literally sell anything on eBay.
GD says they remember when pictures were optional. I don't remember that part. I remember having to scan sports card into the computer, though.
You know what I was thinking of earlier? One of the early questions was from, I can't remember her name. They said they've been selling for 15 years.
That was
And they're getting into the app part of it.
Yeah, that was Gigi's giant Addict's treasure. She just got herself a smartphone.
Now, I know from being an Amazon seller, when you scan stuff with the Amazon seller app, it is so much easier. You scan using eBay's app itself, nothing shows up.
Yeah, not much of anything shows when you scan with the eBay app. But the Amazon
I
app,
know there's other apps out there that are better at it than that for eBay.
eBay's scanning app actually used to be one of the best. It used to be way better than the Amazon selling app.
I couldn't get the CDR package brand new the pull up on. I'm like, really?
I'm pretty sure that they have some sort of weird glitch going on that they're getting fixed. It's just taking them a while to realize that it's broken.
Yeah, because I noticed that this weekend because I was at the estate sale. I was picking up new in a package items of media that's not that old. It should be on there, but it wasn't. But Amazon had no problem bringing it up. So kind of going back to that in a way, like Amazon will work. You can scan it in the dark. It pretty much picks up your item.
Popular Picker said she remembers when the bank couldn't figure out why she was depositing so many checks and money orders. Must have been fun waiting a week to 10 days before you had to ship something. Imagine that time trying to do that now, and it's I want my item now type of scenario. And the last post that I saw in my group that caught my eye was somebody was asking about drop shipping.
No.
Now, I know I did a whole show about it last year, but I suggested them not to do the drop shipping, to stay with the thrift store, or basically do stuff out of his house first before trying to go into drop shipping. And
You have no control.
exactly.
You have absolutely no control. Your entire business model is reliant on somebody else running their business. Because they might not ship the item. They might ship the wrong item. You're lucky if the person is actually going to ship anything, because they might just take the money and run. There are so many different drop shipping companies out there. Most of them are just scams. You have to be extremely careful. It's like I've done a little bit of drop shipping, and I know that's actually one of the first things I was doing with eBay, and I actually owed eBay right from the very beginning. And then I actually had to work to pay that back, and then I discovered I'm making like crazy stupid money. But don't do drop shipping.
Young Pilot has asked Dustin what the eBay app was that for scanning, and I told him it's the Red Laser.
Yeah. But if you download eBay just your regular to your phone, and when you hit the search, to the right of that search is that the scan icon. That thing comes up with absolutely nothing. It's really bad. Unless it's only been the last couple of days, I don't know, but
I've scanned with that app just because I was curious if anything was coming up. I did come up with a few items, but not much of anything was even worth it.
Hey, Michael, why don't you do another comment in the chat so people can subscribe to you if they haven't already? And then I'll put your link later on after posts and stuff. I'll put it in the description. You want me to put your link in there, Dustin, even though you have videos yet?
No, but hit Michael up. He's got some really good videos. Get everybody to. I watched his videos. He's got some really cool stuff. He's got some good stuff. I saw some of his Goodwill hits and just the way he kind of looks at stuff. He's got some good videos out there. Definitely get his link out there and subscribe. He's good stuff. I guarantee it's stuff you're finding already.
Yeah. And with drop shipping, I can tell from experience, we had one company that we used to use for just trying to do every once in a while. And then one time I went to order something, and they're like, your account has been canceled. Why was my account canceled? So I ended up calling him to find out, oh, we don't want the small sellers anymore. We want the medium to large sellers.
Then how are you going to get to the medium to large sellers if you don't start with the small sellers? Because if you have enough small sellers, then you're going to have enough volume to make it worth the time.
Uh-huh. But they changed their business model, so they kicked out most of the small sellers.
Then they won't get any more people coming their way. They'll just have the clients that they already have.
Well, 'cause I used them for a local business, for a local poker company that was starting up. I sold them some poker chips and felt to make their tables through my wholesaler. And then they wanted me to order some more stuff. I went to go it, and I'm like, why can't I order? So got stuck there, and that's when I had to call them. And I'm like, okay, whatever, and I hung up.
Nice.
So if you're interested in drop shipping, like I said, we do have another. I forget who I had as a guest on when I was talking about drop shipping. That's almost a year and a half ago, I think, or something. It feels like that long ago.
If you get into drop shipping, watch the quantity that company has. Because if they have a small quantity and you're listing it, other people are trying to sell the exact same item, they might run out before you are able to sell one.
Another suggestion I can make, if we had the money, we would have been doing it all along. If you're going to go through those companies, order stuff and have it sent to you. That way, when you list it, you know you have it in stock. You don't have to worry about watching those numbers. So, any more questions or comments to be said? We got about 29, 30 watchers, and we're at the hour mark.
I got one for Michael.
What's that?
Next time you do your episode of doing like a thrift, haul, Goodwill or whatever you're doing, you got your kids. You and your kids should do like a parody dance or to some song or something in the middle of it.
There is actually too many rules with having a song in any YouTube video.
Could
You
you
have
do
to
the
get permission from the person who wrote the song, the person or the company who produced the song. You have to get permission from so many different people in order to do that. Yeah. So
unless you use YouTube music, they have their own music that they let you use.
Yeah, that's actually kind of annoying. I've listened to some.
I was throwing out to you. Always got them out there in the van with you. I figured, just hey, I'm Goodwill 4. All of a sudden, just break out the little parody real quick or something, All right, Goodwill 5's next.
Let's put it this way: I have my own Goodwill song. My song is basically a parody off of the Frozen song. Do you want to build a snowman? Instead of do you want to build a snowman, it's do you want to go to Goodwill? I will let your mind go from there.
I got you. I got you.
Let's see, Joe Panico says he used to drop ship from his medical suppliers. It was unique enough to be limited or no competitor concerns. Yeah, that's the only way you can really get into it if you found somebody that didn't have a lot of people doing it. So, and we're getting requests for an after show. I don't know if you guys want to stick around.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, probably.
Well, because I know we're, like I said, we're at the hour mark, and I'm just seeing if there's any more last-minute questions from anybody. Now, I thank everybody for watching. Thank Little Kyle for being a moderator, which, ironically, we didn't have any spammers tonight.
I'm not cool enough. I'm not as popular as Michael and Chris.
People love my haul videos. They want to know what's going on with those items. I still have my Contra Ugly Christmas sweater. And it has not sold. But I love this thing to death. I'm not going to let it go for too small of an amount.
Hey, can you put that in front of the camera real quick? I want to see the back of that. I like that thing.
There's nothing on the back, but...
Just that... What? No one's bought that yet?
Yeah, I've got it listed for $75.
That's pretty cool. I'm surprised somebody... You should work out a trade with Michael Pierce or somebody or something, you know? Maybe he doesn't like it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I've had a few offers on it, but I'm not going to let it go for too low. There's only one person that I'll let take it for $25, and he knows who he is, and he knows where it's at, and he's ready for it.
Great Lakes Treasure Hunter said he started buying wholesale from the same companies that drop shit for him. Much less stress.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that type of money to go buy stuff wholesale eventually. But I figure I gotta start somewhere. That if you're not doing drop shipping, we all suggest don't do it if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
You really do your homework on that company.
Especially if you're getting started with eBay. Don't start off right off the bat drop shipping because you don't get that money right away.
Yeah, I would use your stuff from around the house first.
Yep. Have your own scale so you can print off your own shipping labels. Walmart has them for like $20, but they only weigh to like 3 pounds at most. This one I got off eBay for like $18, and it weighs up to 86 pounds. I think the heaviest item I ever had was like 46 pounds on it.
Same one I have.
Yep. If anybody's really curious, it is the Accutech digital scale. Just go look it up on eBay.
Alright, well, since I don't see any more questions and they're all waiting for me to end this so they can come into the hangout.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for watching. I will see. What was that, Mike?
Yard Sale Hunter has the same scale.
I will see you guys Wednesday. I don't know what Wednesday night's topic for the art show is going to be, so we'll see what I can come up with in the next 3 days. Thanks for joining me, Mike and Dustin.
No problem.
Thanks for watching.
See you in another video.